Hey out there, this is Friday, April 7th, 2017, and it's just about 9:18 in the morning here in Northern California. And of course, what's on most people's mind is Syria and this recent turn of events, and Trump supporters wondering if perhaps he's gone sideways, if perhaps we were deceived by Donald Trump, because we all know that support him know he's a very intelligent man and that he knows well about false flag operations. And in light of the fact that he knows about false flag operations and how they're used to rally support for wars, dubious, illegitimate wars, then he knows about this Syrian deal, and he knows that the likelihood that this is a self-inflicted wound by these freedom fighters, the rebels, the ISIS, the Al-Qaeda and such, that want to overthrow Bashar al-Assad because he's secular. He's not running Syria like a theocracy. He doesn't cater to the whims of any particular religious sect. And we know that's a lot of nonsense anyhow. But anyhow, I wanted to get that out there and just say, that was my instinct initially when I heard about this, that Donald Trump had changed his view on this whole idea because he knew about the initial false flag. It was another self-inflicted wound that these rebels did several years back. But it was found out, and our military wouldn't support it. So, Donald, if you're serious about believing that this was done by who's got nothing to gain by using chemical weapons, and these were all taken, these were all destroyed, right? The Russians were involved, and so he doesn't even have any chemical weapons. So this is all just made up crap, okay? And so Alex Jones had a Syrian girl on. She was being interviewed by David Knight and Leanne McAdoo, I believe. And it was a very good interview. This is a very articulate, super intelligent woman, way smarter than me. But she knows what's going on. It's her home country, and she cares about her homeland, and she's a patriot in that sense. But she's super smart, and she knows. Everybody out there, all the people that I admire and trust their opinions because I know they're smart. And that, what I mean by smart, if you're smart, in my mind, somebody that's really smart is really decent. Those are the righteous people. Because we're all really smart if we can just get over our dishonesty. We all have biases and all this crap. We fear what somebody's saying, like me. Nobody's got anything to fear from me, for example. Okay, but I can come off to some like a barking German shepherd, who you're like, oh no, I don't trust this. I'm not going, no, I'm not buying that. But you find out that the animal's just excited. I'm just excited. I talk so fast because my brain is operating much more quickly than my mouth is able to. So it can be a problem for me where I start tripping inside my brain, and I start stuttering and stammering and have all kinds of speech impediments. But it's all going on inside my brain. I know what's going on is that sometimes when you see a truth and you're so eager to convey it, you can actually you can defy your own purpose in that sense by not coming off clearly. And I need to slow down my rhetoric, or you could of course stop the tape and rewind it and try to hear what I have to say. But one way or another, I've got to just calm down and say what I have to say in a clear, concise, coherent way so everybody can understand what I'm trying to say, because I myself am not a threat to anybody. And I believe we can all embrace that same idea. And this is what Jesus taught. This is where I got this idea. Jesus was no man's enemy. You understand? God is no man's enemy. And we've got to understand we're fighting a common enemy. And it's not flesh and blood. It's satanic. It's ugly. It's an attitude. It's a spirit. It's monstrous. And we have to assume that every human being is just deceived. We have to give each other the benefit of the doubt in these matters. So anyhow, the point is that Jesus said that, to love your enemy. So this is where you get this idea that it's good and right, proper to love every man, to be every man's friend. That doesn't automatically mean they are going to accept you as a friend. They can still treat you as an enemy, a nemesis, a foe, whatever the case may be. But that's only because they don't understand you. They don't understand the barking German Shepherd that's just excited. He's not going to hurt you in any way. That, you find out he's just excited, and you can pet him and he'll smile at you, and you can love each other. It's a beautiful thing. God created the animal and you to have this relationship. And that's kind of how I feel I am sometimes. I feel some people are threatened. But if you're really honest and you really understand, you read between the metaphorical lines and you see that I'm just a guy that wants to be free. And I'm just a guy that stumbled upon the fact that in order for me to be free, everybody else in my realm, okay, that means the entire earth is my realm, has to be free, or else I'm not free, because this is what God is dictating to me, this truth. And so I feel compelled, commissioned to go forth and to convey and impart that as best I can to the general public, because I love people and I want the best for people. I love me. I love life. I hate my life in this world, this system, because this is Satan's scene. This is his realm, man. And I don't like it. It makes me, I tell you what, it's just a miracle I've survived as long as I had, watching this thing go downhill. I mean, I see the way Alex Jones gets, okay? And he gets very, very upset, okay? Rightfully so, exasperated, beyond the pale, frustrated, angry, indignant. I get it. I feel the same way. I've had to watch this thing unfold a lot longer than him. And the common denominator, we can disagree about little things. All these decent, righteous people that I see in the world. I know if I see all these high-ranking people out there, that Alex, these guests he gets on the show, and all this, okay, his reporters and all these people that have they have the megaphone, if I see so many good and decent righteous people out there, it gives me hope, because I know there's a lot more decent righteous people out on the street everywhere, just regular people, and I meet them, and it's a beautiful thing. I mean, just last night at Sears, I was exchanging a tool, and this young guy, I got to talking to him, and it's just like, thank God, that people are so smart. This Generation Z and the millennial generation, we're there, man. People are understanding that their very survival depends on them getting very smart, being as shrewd as serpents, understanding, words and being able to cut between the lines of the words. Like, you take a word like government, and it's utterly loaded. It's utterly misunderstood. Who is the government? It's so subjective. The government is you. It's me. In America, we are all the government. It's we the people. That's our Constitution. It's a very equalitarian thing. It's a very beautiful thing. And it's given by God, not by men, as some in other faiths out there will say, okay? And I don't want to name names, but I'm telling you, okay, is that, no, the American thing is secular, okay? The only thing is that we prescribe to God, not as a religious thing, but as just understanding that there's a lot of mystery, okay? That we're just acknowledging God. That's it. The Constitution is clear that the only thing that supersedes this Constitution is the literal will of God, and that's up for every man in his conscience to decide on his own. Well, I'm determined to keep my talking shorter, I'm telling you. If it goes beyond one tape, 40-minute tape, I'm going to really, really try to keep it to 2 tapes. But, no, this religious nonsense, in the Middle East with the Shias and the Sunnis, okay, I know it's not the same as the Catholic and Protestant thing, but there is some similarities, okay? There are some commonalities there, all the what they're going through with each other. They've got to come to terms with each other, come to peace, and just say, you know what, I'm done being your enemy. Just do what Jesus said, okay? He was the greatest teacher of all time. He said that he was smarter than Solomon. So, yes, Jesus is smarter than Muhammad. I don't mean to blaspheme the name. You believe he's holy, and I respect that. And I love all men equally. We're all brothers and children of God as we choose. We're all equal, do equal love and equal respect of each other. But we've got to have free speech. This is imperative. So the best Muslims out there, really are good Americans. They understand how important it is to have peace, that you've got to get it off your chest. You've got to say what's on your mind. So if you think the Shiites are acting like a bunch of elitists because they are from the direct bloodline of Muhammad, hey, you know what? Maybe the Shiites need to hear you out. And if the Shiites say, well, yeah, but look at you guys. Who are you to tell me how to act when, you got all this violence that you're prescribing to? Okay, show me where, that's written to be okay in the Quran, that you attack your fellow Muslims. Okay, so both sides need to hear each other out. That's the best I can offer you. When it comes to Catholics and Protestants, I mean, yes, Protestants need to accept the Catholics, and that's what America did initially, because we were predominantly a Judeo-Christian nation, very much Protestant. And it's a different scene. I mean, we don't have the hang-ups that so many people that are from these religious affiliates have. Okay, this is what I meant when I was talking about the restraint of this repression that these priests, these Catholic priests that often don't even know the teaching of Jesus. If they did, would you think they would ever molest a child? I mean, how many Protestants are out there molesting children? I hope to think none, but they're not as repressed. You see, this is it. I mean, we can't live by the law. The letter of the law will destroy everyone. This is what Jesus tried to get across to us, that we must live by grace, the grace of God that was shed through Jesus Christ, his Son. It covers our sin, okay? He paid for our sin. He purchased it. He is the one that owns our sin. All the sin we've committed, all the sin we're going to commit today or in the future at any time, it all falls on his shoulders, okay? He paid the price. There's no other ransom to be paid. This is the final propitiation, as it's written, for our sin. And so Jesus takes it all on his shoulder and tells us, look, I forgive you. I understand. You don't know reality, okay? Jesus knew that. He was here on earth as a regular person. He knows just how inculcated we are into this beast system, this phony, pseudo-monetary, money-based satanic reality. This is what gives Satan all his clout. This is what it all comes down to. It's all about the money. This is why I always get into economic discussions in my videos. I'm trying to educate and edify people. I want people to understand what the hell's going on, how simple you can keep it. Because it really is, at the end of the day, it's very simple. How we're being duped and taken. And the smartest people out there are not these evildoers. That's why they always exhort to all the violence, because they don't have an argument at the end of the day. It's just propaganda, deceiving, gaslighting, all this crap. And Donald Trump, about this Syrian thing, he's got to understand that fundamentally he's got to understand this. He's being duped. If he buys this and he orders the military and hope to God that we got enough intelligent men in high places in the military, they're going to say no. Just like they did years ago. They said, we're not going to be Al-Qaeda's Air Force, for example, and we're not doing this thing. That's what needs to happen. And remembering the Nuremberg trials. Remember, it's every man for himself. It's your own conscience you will answer for. You will stand before God and man, perhaps, if you make the wrong move and you go down the wrong way in history, okay? But we want to make damn sure you want to pick a fight with the Russians. And remember, the Russians are back in Syria. So we've got Third World War, Donald Trump. Don't even think about it. Forget the nuclear. I don't buy all that crap. I really believe that God, through the holy angels, has been involved in our affairs since forever. Okay? For whatever purposes, God lets bad things happen. He let the first bombs drop on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but I do not believe he will ever allow another neutron, nuclear, hydrogen bomb to kill that kind of people. I just don't. I believe that the weapons are in place through these angelic beings. Okay, God is resourceful. He's got greater power than just mere mortals, mere human beings. Okay, his arm reaches unto the heavens and to the ends of the universe, which is a mystery to all men. Only God knows what the boundaries of the universe are. And, if we ever hope to know that, we better stay uptight and close to him and, just say, God, whatever my screwed up beliefs are, I got to lay it all on the table, because like you understand, God, I don't know reality, okay? I don't know it because I was trained from birth not to know it. I've been trained to be deceived, and we've all got to understand that, because that essentially is what it comes down to. is that we don't know reality because we've been trained not to know reality. Okay, these evil people run our lives for thousands of years, don't want us to know reality. Okay, why don't they want us to know reality? Because you'll be empowered. That's knowledge, that's wisdom, that's truth. That is literally the hand of God telling you the truth, telling you, look, if I had my way, you'd all be born free. But anybody that believes they're born free in this world, I don't care what country you're born into, you're